All right, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Infinite today. Today I want to run you through every single new feature and design change in iOS 14. So far I've had it for a couple of days and I really love it. So I'm excited to show you some of those new features today. And with that, let's jump right into it. Okay, first of all is that you can now actually use the dots here at the bottom of the home screen to swipe across different pages. Pretty nice feature. Next up, there is a new edit mode, so you no longer have to hold the app for a long time before it goes into edit mode. You can now just hold the background and it'll go into edit mode automatically. And to exit back out, you can press the background. When you're in edit mode, there's a new plus button here at the top right corner. You can actually press that to access this new widget viewer. Widgets, of course, are new in iOS 14. You can see I have some of them here. You can actually just swipe through them. There are different types of widgets. This is a Siri suggestions widget, and so it suggests things based on what I usually do throughout the day. And then, of course, you still have your widget viewer here on the left side where you can access all of your frequently used widgets. You can also stack widgets on top of each other so that you can quickly swipe through them like that. To do that, you can either tap and hold an existing widget, move it over, stack it on top of one like that, or you can take a new widget from the new widget menu, drag it out like that, and put it on top of an existing widget. To edit a stack of widgets, you simply tap and hold it and then tap edit stack. That way you can reorder the widgets that come through, turn on and off smart rotate, which uses Siri suggestions to put widgets at the top, and you can also delete widgets from the stack just like that. All of the widgets have different sizes, and so you can go into a category like this and see the different sizes of widgets that you have. And older widgets that apps used as extensions before are now here at the bottom of the list. So the newer ones are up at top and they cannot be moved higher. There is a new what Apple's calling app library on the far right. So by going here, you can see all of your apps that you have installed. You can swipe down to get into a view here where you can see all of your apps in alphabetical order. Of course, touch down the side here to quickly skip to the letter of app that you're looking for. Also, the apps are organized by category, so you can either jump into a category by pressing some of the smaller widgets like that, or you can jump straight to an app itself by simply pressing on the icon. Now, when you want to remove an app from the home screen, there is a new option, simply remove app, and then instead of deleting it actually from your phone, you can just add it to the library, and so that takes it off of your home screen, and that app will still be in my library. There's now a new option to actually hide home screens. So while you're in jiggle mode,
I just go into jiggle mode?
You can just hit these three dots here and then you see all of the home screens that you've created in the past, and then you can simply tap and untap these arrows to show or hide them. If you show them, of course, then they'll show up before you get to your app library on the far right. Spotlight search as well has been updated. When you pull it down, you can see that it has the new rubber band effect rather than the pull and stop that it had before. And as you can see here, there is a new handoff option in Spotlight, so it actually shows you handoff options from your other devices to see if you want to continue from there. From the widget screen, this is actually a widget that I have here that uses Siri to suggest apps to me at different times of the day. If there's an app that you no longer want suggested, you can simply tap and hold on it and tap do not suggest that app. There is a new keyboard button on Spotlight search, so if you're searching for an app, it will auto-suggest it. You can see that the app is highlighted by this translucency. Instead of going up to tap on the app, you can actually just tap go here in the keyboard and it'll open it right up. Also, Spotlight search and all searches auto-complete your phrase. So instead of typing out the entire phrase or word, I can just now see that it auto-completed that for me and hit go. And this, of course, works everywhere on the phone, including in the App Store. As I'm searching for an app, for example, it'll automatically complete it and I can just search from there. Of course, one of the biggest things about iOS 14 is the new Siri interface. So Siri now, instead of taking up the entire screen, just appears as a little cool glowing orb down at the bottom. And it has this new animation when you're finished speaking that kind of looks like it took a design from the Cycles app on the Apple Watch. You can see there it uses those rotating tiles, and Siri now displays information either at the bottom or the top of your screen depending on what the information is. So you can see here, how much does a grizzly bear weigh? It'll display information up here and I can access that. While Siri is active, I can't select apps in the background. The whole background, even though you can still see it, is still unselectable. And when the screen is off and you want to access Siri, you can do that simply by saying, "Hey Siri." And the Siri animation comes on before the screen actually lights up, so that looks kind of cool. Let's try that again. "Hey Siri." It's a cool new animation. You can now remove multiple apps from the home screen at the same time by simply dragging several of them into a folder and then removing the entire folder. Okay, next up, the Messages app has a ton of improvements. First of all, you can now actually search for emojis simply by opening up the emoji viewer and searching just like that. Also, for privacy, I'm not going to show you here, but you can now @ people in group chats, and you can reply to specific messages just like this. When a message has a reply, you'll see a little notification here in the bottom that says 1 reply, and you'll also see the original message that you replied to down next to it. You'll also see this little graphic over on the side that shows that these two messages are connecting to each other. And if you want to highlight that thread, you can simply hit the 1 reply or 2 replies, and it will show you only that thread. There are also 3 new Memoji stickers, and those can be seen here. One is the hug Memoji, very cute. One is the bones Memoji, very cool with the sly face that you can see here. And finally, you have the hand over the mouth Memoji or gasp Memoji, however you want to interpret that. Along with those, there are now more options than ever to customizing Memoji, including bike helmets, a graduation cap, firefighters, and a ton more, honestly. And you can now also wear a face mask. Very appropriate. Also new in Messages, you can now pin messages to the top simply by swiping over on a message like that. And you can see when people are typing to you. If there are multiple people typing in these messages, you will now actually see the typing animation show up in the messages from this screen like you were able to do before on the Mac. Also in groups, you can now set a group icon, for example, this smiley face, and the members of the group will appear around the photo, the largest icon being the person that is most recently messaged to the group. Okay, let's head over to the Settings app here because we have quite a few new features to explore here. First of all, and I'm bummed that I can't show you this because it seems like it only works on the iPhone 10 and above, but there is a new feature. If you go into Accessibility, Touch, it'll say Back Tap, and what you can actually do is simply tap the back of your phone 2 or 3 times to access certain actions like opening an app or summoning Siri, opening the camera. Next up, in camera, you actually now have the option to mirror the front camera. You can also here, if you have an iPhone 10 or above, set the exposure options in your camera, which are then available to be changed from the camera app. There are 3 new wallpapers in this update, and so you have this one, pretty nice, and they're all dynamic, so they change with light and dark mode. This one, the blue-green combo, very nice. And this one, the gray bluish hue, sleek. I'll bet you that more wallpapers are added in a future beta update of iOS 14, as right now we only have those 3. If you go to Settings, Sounds and Haptics, there is now a new option to reduce loud sounds. So turning this on, you see different options here. This will reduce loud sounds above 75 decibels, as loud as a vacuum cleaner, noisy restaurant, heavy city traffic, loud as a motorcycle, car horn, or ambulance sirens, so that it'll cancel those out while you're wearing supported headphones. There is a new setting in general. You go to Picture in Picture and you can start Picture in Picture automatically. Of course, Picture in Picture as well is a new feature, so I'll show you that now. If I'm here in Mighty Note, for example, I can start watching a video. That'll open up, and then from here I can actually tap this picture in picture icon we've seen before on the iPad and Mac. The actual view will say this video is playing picture in picture, and then you can go anywhere on your phone. You can resize the picture in picture, bigger, smaller, move it up to all of the corners, which is where it'll snap, or if you don't want it right now, you can actually move it off screen. It'll show this little tab to pull it back in. Now, unlike the Mac, even when it's big, that tab will be a kind of a smaller tab. I don't know if this is a glitch or not, but that's how it looks for right now. There are some options on here. You can skip forward 15 seconds or back 15 seconds, which is really nice. You can hit the X to exit the picture in picture, or you can hit the back button here and it'll bring you back to the app where the picture in picture was started. So that option in general, if I'm watching a video and I press the home button, it'll automatically go into picture in picture. That is definitely my preferred method. But if you don't want that to happen, then you can manually set picture in picture and the behavior will be as before. When you exit the app, the video will go away. In the FaceTime settings, Apple has actually returned the option on iPhone 10 and above to do eye correction, which actually, if you're not looking right at the camera, it'll actually digitally correct your eyes so it looks like you're looking right into the camera even when you're not. If you go to Settings, General, iPhone Storage, there is now a new option to actually search for apps here, and it will bring them up in this menu and show you how much space they're using. There's a new section of settings called home screen, and by clicking on that, you can set options for new app downloads, where new apps will either go straight to the home screen or only go to the app library, and notification badges on or off while you're in the app library. In accessibility, both VoiceOver and Magnifier have new icons. There are new options for Siri within the Siri feedback section. You can have voice feedback always, with silent mode off, or with Hey Siri, or only with Hey Siri, which is what I prefer. There is also an option in Siri to turn off show apps behind Siri, so then instead of showing content behind Siri, it will actually just blur the screen. Okay, next up, there are some new privacy options within settings. First of all, you can see which apps have requested to use your local network and toggle those here. Next up, there is a new tracking options, and here you can allow apps to request to track you or not. They can use an identifier that can be used to combine your activity across apps and websites. There is also a new research sensor and usage data option, which you can enable here. The passwords and accounts tab has now been changed to just passwords, and within passwords, if your password from a website has been compromised, it will actually show you here in the system preferences. And you can also change your passwords on websites here in your app, which you could not do in iOS 13. There's also, of course, a new translate app in iOS 14, and you have settings for that here. You can turn on device mode so that you do not have to actually use data or Wi-Fi to download the languages, but it will do all of the processing here on the device. Pretty cool. You do not have this yet in this beta, but in the future you will be able to see app clips that have been installed onto your phone here and edit them here in the settings app. Now in iOS 14, it actually shows you where text has been pasted from. So if I paste here into Mighty Note, it says Mighty Note pasted from another device. Hopefully they'll fix that in the future so that it doesn't cut off, but every time you paste text, it will show you where that text is coming from. In Photos, you can now create folders which hold multiple albums, allowing you for deeper organization in Photos. There is also a new color picker, so if I go here to Markup and go to the color picker, you'll actually see that this is brand new. You can do grid, spectrum, or sliders and change your color this way. Very nice. And this is actually across the entire UI. You even have a color dropper that you can grab from a part of the image and then of course to draw with it. Very nice, very new, and this is across the entire system. There are also new filters in Photos. So if you press the three dots here up in the top corner, you can now filter these by edited, by photos, or by videos, or by all three of them. In the clock app, there is a new wake time picker. So it basically works as before, where you set how much time you'd like to sleep. That now changes across the bottom, and then you can set the time that you'd like to wake up. And it actually warns you if you do not meet your sleep goal, which you can set in the Health app or on the Apple Watch. There is also a new time picker consistent across the UI. So instead of the scrolling wheels that we've seen before, you now just type in the time, and the AM PM switcher is just a toggle like that. Also, the bedtime option has been removed from the clock app to the Health app, and the time picker here, you can see that the gray bar is a little bit thinner than it was before, which is a new design feature. Now, if at any point you're using the camera in iOS 14, much like you see on the Mac, you will get this little green dot there up in the status bar. And I don't have anybody to FaceTime right now because it's a little too early for that, but if you are FaceTiming somebody, their video will appear much like a picture-in-picture would, and you can move it around to different corners of the phone, so you can always see it while you're doing different things on your phone. Very nice. The Voice Memos app got a redesign. Now when you're making a new voice memo, it just appears at the bottom of the screen like that. And when you're using the microphone, you will see an orange dot in the status bar like that, which indicates that the microphone is in use. Also in Voice Memos, much like you see in Notes, there is a new folders option, so you can actually go out here, see all recordings from Apple Watch, things like that. There is also a new option to favorite recordings, and so simply by swiping from the right like that, you can add favorites, which will then appear here in your folders. When you're in the camera app, if you are on an iPhone 10 above, you can actually now change the frame rate and the resolution straight from the camera app, as well as change exposure if you've enabled that in settings. A new privacy feature: when an app requests to use your photos, you can actually choose which photos the app can see simply by selecting them here like that, and then only those photos that you've selected will appear in the app. In Safari, you can now press and hold the tabs icon in the bottom to close all of your tabs, just this tab, open up a new private tab, or open up a new tab. And if you press the plus button here, you will see recently opened tabs, and then you can quickly access them from here. And if you press and hold done here in the bottom right, there is the option to close all of your tabs. Of course, the Translate app is all new in iOS 14. Some of the highlights here is that it lets you do on-device mode, and so it stores the languages that you need on your device and it doesn't send those to the cloud. Other than that, a lot of this you've seen before in competing apps, which will not be named on this channel. But it works just as you'd expect. Let's test this out here. Bonjour, comment ça va? Everything is good with me. How is it with you? Works just like a charm. And if you've recently used the microphone, it will show you here in Control Center what app recently used it, even if it's not currently being used. The App Store has received a pretty good update with iOS 14. Now when you go into an app, you can actually see more information on it right here in this new format. Very nice. Also in the future, it will show you what the developer is asking for as far as privacy goes down at the bottom. And if you press and hold on an app, there is a new option to see ratings and reviews. Now in iOS 14, the Shortcuts app has had a huge redesign. You'll see that the colors are a lot more vibrant and they're less muted and dull, which personally I really like. And now, much like on the Notes app and the Voice Memos app, you can put your shortcuts into folders just like this. Now I can put all of my Batman related shortcuts here in the same folder in Shortcuts. The Notes app has received a pretty sizable update. If you press the ellipsis button here in the top right corner, you'll see that the options screen has been redesigned in a really nice way. You can now find in Note, give feedback to the handwriting department at Apple. Notes now look different as well, so rather than completely stretching the width of the screen, you'll see that there is now a slight space on either side. And of course the options menus look different across a lot of different apps here, so you get these little context menus instead of the full-on alert action menu. The Files app has had a pretty sizable redesign as well. Using the ellipses icon, you can now select between icons and lists, how you're going to sort the options, and like I just said, the menus here too have been redesigned. The Books app is another one of these that has received the new menus. When you hit the sleep icon, for example, you'll receive this nice little context menu instead of the full-on pop-up from the bottom. The Music app has received welcome changes. The tabs across the bottom are now different. Listen Now, Browse, Radio, then Library, and Search. Search has some nice new ways to find playlists curated by Apple Music. So for example, I can go to Summertime Sounds, see some of these Songs of the Summer playlist, and add this to my library straight from there. No longer randomly searching keywords trying to find curated playlists. The Listen Now tab is nice. It shows you top picks and some of the music that you might like based on what you listen to. It also shows you recently played albums, and your replay playlists are no longer in beta mode. They are now here in Listen Now. You can see back through all the years that you've had Apple Music and get your replay, including for the current year that we're on, which is new. The radio screen has been slightly redesigned to help you better find radios that you might enjoy, as well as the browse screen. If you go to the very bottom, it says more to explore. You can see genres, top charts, or music videos, and explore those there. But the sharing and social options on Apple Music are basically just as bad as ever. To get to your friends, you still have to go to Listen Now, tap your profile, and access them through there. The Weather app has been redesigned in several ways. Now, if it's raining, it will show you the chance of rain percentage for the next hour. And in certain cities, it will even show you the air quality index. Likely, these are changes that Apple was able to bring into the Weather app because of their acquisition of Dark Sky. Control Center has received some welcome changes, including access to HomeKit accessories right from Control Center without having to go into an extra menu. If you do go into the menu, this has been redesigned and now shows you kind of a mini view of the Home app. But other than that, I can access certain accessories right here straight from the front view of Control Center, which of course is a really nice feature. Other than that, Control Center has gotten only 2 new toggles, one of which is Sleep Mode, which will put your phone into a darkened mode, turn on Do Not Disturb, and prepare to wake you up for when your time is set. The other mode that's pretty nice is sound recognition. So if you are hard of hearing, there are these sound recognition options that your phone will listen for, such as a fire alarm, a smoke alarm, a dog barking, a door knock, shouting, even water running. And by turning these on, your phone will listen for these and then alert you when it hears them. When you're using your AirPods for Live Listen, you can now see the volume level on your headphones, and turn Live Listen on and off right from that menu there, and access your AirPods Pro transparency and noise cancellation options right from here. Also new to iOS 14 is the Announce Messages with Siri option, which you can toggle right there. Or you can mute it for 1 hour or turn it off for the day. The Activity app has been renamed Fitness and has received a slight redesign. The Date Picker is also all new in iOS 14, so you know what it looked like before. Here's what it looks like now. You can now select a certain day of the month, change months just like that, or you can go here and select a month and year. And of course, it's equipped with the new time picker. So very nice, very sleek. A new update to AirPods from iOS 14 allows them to have optimized battery charging. So this is what the iPhone has had for a while now and basically protects its battery from overcharging and lengthens out the battery on the device. Also, you can now get notifications on your iPhone for when your other Apple devices are done charging. And Mark Gurman at Bloomberg found this notification come up after some liquid got into his device, which is a new notification that warns you before putting the Lightning connector into your phone if there is liquid present, which could harm your phone. And that is everything new in iOS 14 for iPhone. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And like this video, I worked really hard on this one, so any likes and subs would be very much appreciated. And look forward to iOS 14 coming to a public beta in July. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, you guys. Peace out.